But they wanted a maintenance facility
for a
turnaround check and to hook up the auxiliary power unit. Because when these planes land, they don't keep their engines running. They hook auxiliary power units up. It takes maintenance guys to do that. Well, they didn't want to do business with Millionaire. Don't know why. Millionaire seems to be a good company, but they don't have maintenance.
It had something to do with the price being charged.
I have no idea. I don't know, and I don't get into that. I really don't know how that all works. But they asked for Garza. Garza agreed, and it's like all hell broke. All hell broke loose. That they hired them.
They went to Craig Williams, unaware of the cozy relationship between Craig Williams and Millionaire.
Well,
and for a while, according to the lawsuit paperwork I have in front of me, Craig Williams and the
I did not realize
county employees did this work on the jet,
which they're not allowed to do apparently, according to some of their.
But then there was a mandate to buy 1,200 gallons a night from Millionaire, and that became unacceptable to this the company that operates that jet.
But Garza agreed to do it, and within 24 hours, he's been told to cease, desist.
And I don't think Gil Garza understood what he was stepping into.
No.
He had no idea.
But why hit him with a sledge? All of a sudden, they're hand grenading this guy for doing what he does, and that's maintenance. Let's take a phone call. Jim, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, I was speaking about this stuff over at Yuma.
Yeah.
That's the only maintenance person over there.
Right.
But there are other maintenance people in the area, but they're satellite. But what they're trying to do now, Yuma is trying to get an aero club to curtail all the maintenance and flight instructors. And they're going to do it at a low rate. And they say they're going to try to do it with no cost to the people that are flying, if they're students and stuff like this.
So this is government-subsidized flying club? Is that what you're saying?
That's what they're saying they're going to do.
Who's going to do it?
Meeting's on the 18th. Greg Williams brought it up.
There's a
meeting on the 18th about it.
That he wants to do an aero club?
He wants to have an aero club to have reduced prices and make everybody go to him, because if he has reduced prices, your flight instructors are out of the picture too.
I don't think I want to go to Craig Williams for any kind of aero club. I would be afraid of that.
I talked to Ed Whitehead, and Ed Whitehead said there's nothing free, but Ed Williams thinks he can do it for free, and he's pushing other flight instructors. There's only one full flight instructor in the area here, and that's at Somerton. That's McDermott's over here at Somerton, and that's pushing me out of the area too. But
well, now how is it free? Nothing's free.
Well,
because he's going to subsidize it. Low fuel rates.
Well, see, and I'd be afraid of him putting small business people out of business. And Ed Whitehead does some training himself, but putting small business, because I don't trust this board, I don't trust this airport to be in the best interest of general aviation.
Well, just like myself, I go over there and get fuel in the back of my truck to fuel my 4 airplanes over here at Somerton, and they won't let me on the base anymore to get or on the tarmac to get gas anymore.
Well, they're trying to shut everyone down. They're blaming the military on it, saying it's for the F-35. But I've been through this.
We talked to the CEO of the base now, the new CEO, and he's all for general aviation there now.
Well,
and he's very consecutive for everything, and he says it's not going to interfere with the F-35s or anything else. We just talked to him last week about it.
Well, and they try not to get involved in these things. They don't want to get involved. They don't dictate to the airport what security measures are. They will approve or disapprove, probably, of a security measure. But they don't dictate to them that no one's allowed to drive on the airfield. They don't dictate to them any of that stuff. They come up with their own security measures. And these guys...
It costs me $1 more a gallon for aviation fuel now because I have to go with the McNeese brothers.
These guys are heavy-handed over at the...
Yeah, it's pretty weird because they want to get all the instructors together, but they don't understand the TSA wants a list of all the instructors too. So
I don't know what
TSA inspects me once a year, and they want all this stuff in order, and I don't know how they're going to work that.
We've already got aero clubs on multiple ownerships on airplanes at the airport right now.
Right. You only have one basically aero club, and that's the owner partners in one aircraft and stuff like that.
Oh, it's only down to one? There used to be 3.
Well, there's more people have airplanes there, but what I'm saying is one that has a multi one that has, I think, 20 people per aircraft is the one that bought into the airplane and are actually own the airplane, but there is a club type thing you got there.
Yeah. There's a few. But
and they got different airplanes, so you got different club members on.
Jim, you keep your airplane over at Somerton?
Yes, I got 3 of them over here.
3 of them? Well,
Yeah.
Jim, you can only fly one at a time. You call me when you need some help.
I'm the only full-time instructor around. So.
Together, and they decide on a motion. Somebody will make a motion and move. These motions are already pre-written by staff. The motions are written, and the motions are on the overhead, and then the chairman, which is Bill Kresser, just reads it, and they vote yes or no, and that's it.
It's all been decided beforehand, I'm sure.
It seems to be. I just was kind of shocked about that. I don't think there's anything malicious about that, but it's definitely directed by.
It's an efficient way
to run right through it.
To run right through it and go into executive session where you can kick the public out.
That definitely, well, and that's a normal function to go into executive session. I mean,
I understand.
They'll do that occasionally, but I was kind of surprised about the efficiency of running right through the board. The board didn't really interact a lot. The board didn't. It seemed to be.
It would seem they've abdicated a lot of their responsibility to the airport director, who's
they
supposed to be subordinate to them.
Well, they kind of minimized the board's role. It kind of went right through.
And it seems like that's pretty willing.
Well, I don't think all the board members like it. I know a lot of board members that quit out of frustration. I know a lot of board members that said no, and the problem is.
And you notice usually those are people that are pilots and have a broad knowledge of aviation.
Well, and they're
the ones that
they're uncomfortable
most
with
bothered by the way things are ran.
Well, it's not only that.
And
I think
the ones that are not, that have very limited aviation knowledge or none, they're there.
I think they're uncomfortable. I think they're uncomfortable with the professionalism, the way it's being ramrodded, and the way that they're being minimalized and all that. Getting back to the Garza thing, I got called by Gil, who I've known for years, to go over there and talk to him, and I got shown the papers. And they asked me about, Russ, what do you advise? What do you think? Because he's asking a lot of people. I said, you better get a lawyer quick. The meanest guy you can. I suggested Engler because he's mean.
No, he's very efficient.
That's the guy you want on your side back when something like that happens. And they did hire Engler, I guess, which is unfortunate. We don't want any of this to happen. We don't want the lawyers involved. We don't want papers being served by marshals. We don't want any of this to go on.
I don't think they've called a marshal yet, but.
Well, that's who serves the papers, I guess, is the sheriffs, marshals. I don't know who serves.
At some point they will.
Well, they got served while I was there.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. There's lawsuits being served while I was standing there. People come in and say, are you Gil Garza? Yeah, wrong answer. When you say yes, wrong answer. So they're looking to put him out of business right now. I also suggested it at the time, and I know they've done this. I said, look, Gil Garza is the only small business guy on this airfield. Gil Garza happens to be a minority, a Hispanic, and the only small business Hispanic guy, period.
Well, if you remember back when Gil Garza and Joe Gomez tried to start a fuel cells FBO last year,
they shut them down before
I had a letter from Craig Williams,
right.
And it's good reading for any citizen to read that letter from Craig Williams.
Well, it's public information.
How would you like to be on the receiving end of a letter like that?
Well, it's heavy-handed. Everything I see from these guys is heavy-handed.
So you have Joe Gomez and Gil Garza tried to start a fuel cells FBO, and they were crushed.
Yes, and told to cease and desist and get out of there because we have a monopoly with millionaires.
So now Gil Garza is trying to make a go of the maintenance facility, and he gets one good contract, and cease and desist.
And I'll talk about that contract, but my advice to them also was, look, this is federal money, this is tax dollars. Get the congressman involved. Get Grijalva. Call Grijalva right away, and I guess they did.
And I heard that Congressman Grijalva's office was quite concerned about it.
They should be.
And they looked at the makeup of the airport board.
Look, we got F-35s want to come in here. We can't have this kind of situation with this kind of crap going on.
2011.
No, we can't. This thing has got to be squelched. This thing's got to be fixed, like right now, particularly for our military base and everything. the rest of the heavy-handedness that goes on, other than Gil Garza. Well, let's talk about the contract. The contract is with CSI. CSI actually is handling the transport plane for the federal government. The government transports prisoners in and out of here. It's a secret plane as far as no one knows when it's coming, when it's not going to come, because bad men could be on that plane. Don't know. Could be bad men, could be just run-of-the-mill dope smugglers. Don't know, or run-of-the-mill.
Mostly just illegal aliens, I believe.
It could be run-of-the-mill.